In this video today, we're gonna review and talk about this awesome 1964 Superformance, really a Shelby Daytona Coupe. So stick around because we're gonna tell you what it is, why it is, how it is, a little history, and then we're gonna drive the absolute loving hell out of it. Here we go. Behind me is a 1964 Shelby Daytona Coupe. This is built by Superformance. This is a CSX 9000 series. They consider it a real modern Daytona Coupe, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. They've only built about 89 of these. They think the number is right around that, so it's still a very rare car, despite there only being 6 originals. What's really cool about this is it kind of resembles, if you notice, a Cobra, which is up there. And there's a reason for that. This is the new and improved Cobra, so to speak. When they were racing back in the 1960s, they needed something that went faster, that used less fuel, and a gentleman by the name of Peter Brock, alongside Caroll Shelby, actually fully designed this car. That's where this came from. Now here's the catch with this Superformance car. Hi-Tech is the manufacturer in South Africa. They approached Peter Brock himself back in the 90s. Hi-Tech said, we're not gonna build this car unless we can get Peter Brock or Caroll Shelby to come on board and start building them again. Peter Brock was a little hesitant from what I understand. He said, I don't want to build a car for a kit car company. So they actually convinced him to come to the factory in South Africa. And then when he got there, he realized, oh my God, these aren't kit cars. You're actually building 1960s cars. Peter Brock got on board. Eventually Caroll Shelby got on board, and they got the license in 2004 to actually build a fully licensed Shelby Daytona Coupe. So the first iteration of this car was actually pretty much fully redesigned by Peter Brock and then put back in production. They've made about 120 to 130 of the first gen Superformance Daytona Coupe. And then they made some improvements. They widened the wheelbase. There's gonna be some other things we talk about today. And the Gen 2 was born. And this car gets a CSX VIN. Now what the CSX means is it's a Caroll Shelby export. So it's recognized in the States as a real 1964 Shelby Daytona Coupe, which is a really interesting story. So if you see one of these, they do have kit variants that are made by other companies. I think you've got Factory 5 and some others, but this is as close as you get to actually the original car. And that's why they're able to title it and license it as such. We just got this car finished. It's been about 2 years in the making. Would you say this thing is not one of the most beautiful cars?
It is so beautiful. Now I'm a photographer, and one of my favorite things to shoot in this garage has been this car recently because of its body lines, because of its low, like, it sits so low to the ground. The wheels on it you picked were
Forge Line.
Yeah.
Forge Line, thank you. We're still looking for you to sponsor us, and if you haven't seen the videos yet, please, we need to talk.
Yeah.
Because I got Forge Lines on everything.
It just looked so menacing, and we're gonna do some modifications ourselves, but
maybe a couple.
It has such a presence, like a race car presence.
Like a race car presence, but we kept it clean. So the paint color is actually called Fuji Pearl White. I think it's actually been used on some, not McLaren, was it McLaren or Maserati? I don't know, it's been used on some modern supercars. Love it. It's got a deep pearl finish. Wait till you see it in the sun. And then this is Ford Liquid Blue, which is a modern Ford color that we used on the stripe. We were gonna go with a lighter color. If you've seen my 2022 Shelby GT500 sitting outside, it's like a Brittany blue metallic. We were gonna go with that, and then last minute decided to go a little darker because I think it added to more of like a sinister look. If you'll notice, there's a stripe down the center too. We added this to kind of offset. I like white with blue stripes, but there's always something to me when I look at them that's kind of missing. So we added this stripe, and it's carbon flash. So it actually has some metallic in it. And if you notice, these one-off Forge Line wheels that are true center knock, by the way, center lock wheels, is also carbon flash. So we did that to match the stripe. A really interesting fact behind this build, now like I was saying earlier, there's only been, if you combine Gen 1 and Gen 2, let's say there's, what's that, 130 cars or 230 cars or 220 cars, something like that. Out of the 89 Gen 2s, they've actually never done a blackout package. So this is the first Daytona Coupe where they've blacked everything out. So if you notice, there's no chrome on the car. Even the screws in the headlight fixtures, everywhere on the outside. On the inside, they still, like the shifter knob, the parking brake, some of the switches are still chrome, but everything on the exterior is blacked out, and I love it. And if you've seen my collection, we got a GT40 Mark II sitting here, it's blacked out. It's kind of just the vibe. I just like this vibe. It kind of modernized the old race car. There is something really cool I need to show you real quick, and it's under the hood. Now that we're talking about a blackout theme, how cool is that? One of the things I do when I'm thinking about a design on a car is I want the colors to flow really nicely inside and out. So what we did was we blacked out the motor completely. We got this Borla 8 stack on here. This is a built 427. It was built by Prestige Motors here in the North Carolina area. And then we added these covers with the Shelby logo, a billet machine. I just think it's such a cool look. Now, as we come inside here, now if you've driven or been in one of their Cobras before, it has a very similar feel from the seating position to a similar way that the things are arranged. But what you'll notice is we actually had custom gauges made for this one in particular. We wanted to stick with, like I said, pulling things from outside the car back in. So what we did was SpeedTech made these. It's like it's basically the Fuji Pearl with the blue. I mean, you can see it, I don't need to explain it. Dan from Downforce Motorsports, he's a dealer for Superformance. He's actually the one that spec'd the colors on this car. We talked about it a lot in the beginning. We adjusted the stripe color together and picked out the wheels, but he was an integral part in coming up with how this car actually came together as far as the color combinations. He specs a great car. Every car I've seen he spec'd is awesome. So I gotta give a shout out to you because you really did a good job specking this. This is random, it's a little off topic. It's just something that I've been using in my cars that I really like for my phone. So this right here is not a stock piece that comes with the Daytona Coupe. This is actually a little magnet thing that's got a sticker on the back. I've been using that in my 2022 GT500. I put one in my truck. If you want to know, if you want to see what this is, I've put a link in the description, but I found that they're really cool. I've got a little magnetic case on my phone and I just stick it right on the dash. And when I do that, it doesn't block any instruments. I got my phone, I sit in the driver's seat, I literally just stick it up like that and you can adjust it. So
it's literally so handy for cars that don't have the CarPlay or anything like that.
It's so handy because then now you've got a virtual screen. I try not to look at my phone while I drive, but if I'm going to a car show, if I'm going to meet up with my buddies in this car and need directions, it's just so convenient. The back of the car is really cool, and this is my understanding of the history. And if I'm wrong in any way, please correct me in the comments. This is actually a German aerodynamic design. Back when Peter was designing this, I think back in the 60s, the longer tails was more popular. So they didn't think before they got this out that it was gonna do very well. But from my understanding, right out of the gate, it was doing 20 to 30 miles an hour faster than the Cobra and using less gas. And this was a big part of that because of the way the air flows off the car and dumps down, it actually creates less drag. One thing they were having a problem with too is the back end was coming loose quite a bit, from my understanding. So once they added this, created some downforce, eliminated the issue. Look at the size of this rear hatch.
It's huge, it needs to be tinted.
Yes, so one thing I'm gonna tell you about this car, now I'm gonna talk about the Superformance side. Do not put your keys in this car and close your doors, because if you do, and it locks, there is zero way to get in this car. Ask me how I know that.
It's from experience.
I owned one of the first gen. I owned chassis number 118. It was one of the last ones that they built. Beautiful car. And of course, the day before, Dennis said, do not put your keys in that car. And I was just, you know, ADD me, I'm doing something else. Sure enough, I locked myself in. He came out and helped me get him out. It was not easy. It took us a long time. Whatever you do, don't park under a tree, break this, because if you break this, I had one of these on order. My last one cracked. I think I waited over a year and still didn't get it. So it was just a long, now it could be different. That was during the pandemic and all that stuff, right? Supply chain issues, but it's a very specialized piece to actually build these when they're ordered. If you made it through this much of the video, now's the moment you've been waiting for. Miller, let's go drive it. All right, folks, here we go.
Put my seatbelt on.
This car is just, it's got such a presence.
It's got such, and it looks sick from the rear. It looks so good, yeah.
Yeah, tell me about that. What did it look like driving? Like, winding through the roads and stuff.
It just looks like it makes sense going around the corner. Like like how long the wheelbase is, everything just makes sense about going around the corners and stuff. It's a very pretty car.
That's awesome.
I'm ready for you to see it. Like, not in the car, but I'm ready to see the footage of this.
I can't wait.
It looks so good.
I can't wait. And then especially the stance on this car with these wheels, with these larger wheels, I just think it just has such a presence to it.
Absolutely. It's so nice to drive. Like it's beautiful to ride in.
This is a touring car for sure. And the nice thing is we can roll the windows up and you don't feel like you're really driving a race car.
But you are.
But you are.
Yeah.
I don't know why the light was going on, but I just wanted to try to break the tires loose, that's all. Smell that clutch? Jesus!
Yeah. You got a little bit of clutch earlier too.
No, but so overall, I mean, just great driving experience. Feels super planted. We're going into some windies now. Here, we'll get on it a little bit. What the heck is that? Oh, that's an older car.
Old Chrysler. I didn't know what it was either.
I was like, is that a new electric car?
Yeah.
Of some sort?
That's fast.
Oh yeah. 45.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
35.
Hold on. 45.
45. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Man,
this car.
It's a rocket.
It's a rocket ship, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, because if I drop it into second gear and we just decide, well, I won't do it through the school zone.
Yeah, maybe not the school zone. It's the school day. Yeah, we probably shouldn't.
Probably shouldn't do that.
This thing rips.
And it sits too, like what?
Okay.
Sorry, those pedals, by the way, the pedals are very close together, so I accidentally just hit the brake a little bit right now.
Oh, no,
so this is going to take a little getting used to right here.
That was sick.
This car goes.
What a beautiful ride it is, though, too. How light is this car?
How what?
Light.
Light? I actually don't, that's the one thing I actually forgot to mention in the video.
I'll put it right here.
We'll put it right here, yeah. I think it's in the GT40 range as far as.
It feels light.
It feels light. But it's funny because you'd think that the car would drive like all the weights up front with that motor.
Right.
But I'm feeling it in my tail a lot. Like it squats down really well when you get on. That squat, dude.
That's, I don't know, that feels awesome.
This car is really fast.
I can't wait to drive the Cobra again after riding in this because I get a very similar feeling from it.
Very similar, right?
And having those two cars out together, you're gonna have to catch us at a Cars and Coffee in Charlotte one day this summer because we're not driving them in the winter time. I refuse to drive the Cobra in sub 30-degree weather.
Yeah.
But I'd say if this video gets like 500 likes, we'll do it.
You'll do it.
I'll do it.
We're gonna wrap him up in a bunch of warm clothes and stick him in 30-degree weather.
Can I put on?
I'm glad you mentioned that because earlier when we were talking about the car, how it kind of feels similar to a Cobra.
It does.
As we know, it was based on the Cobra platform. Even though Peter Brock wanted to build a brand new car, Caroll Shelby, what did Caroll Shelby say? He was like, we don't have the budget for that, so here's your Cobra, get to work.
Yeah. That is so much fun.
Woo. Now we did see some cops sitting up here earlier, so I just, we're gonna keep it tame.
I have an idea. Now let me know in the comments. Every June we have a streetcar takeover event. Running these on the drag strip with some like other cars, like just for the fun of it.
Just for fun.
Would be sick.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Oh yeah, that'd be dope. That was half throttle.
That's nuts. That's so crazy.
I love how it squats. I love it.
That is my favorite part about it.
Because it's not like the front end lifts up. It literally just squats back
like,
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel it in your butt.
It's very, like the Can-Am. It feels like it has, soft suspension on it, which it really doesn't. But is this independent rear?
Yes.
Okay, which is even more insane how much adjustability you can have with that. So I'm excited to see you take this thing up to the mountains.
Me too.
Once the warm weather comes around, we really didn't have any cars. I mean, we did have some cars over the summer that we could take up to the mountains, but now we have like the perfect cars to take up to the mountains. So next summer, you guys are going to see in a few months, honestly, as soon as the roads can get above 60 degrees, really, is where we're going to be taking all these cars to the drag.
It's going to be awesome.
To the Snake. I mean, we can take a day trip or 2-day trip to the Snake, so it's an hour and a half away.
I love it.
So,
dude, that was fun.
This car is so much fun.
This car is so much fun.
I love it.
You're like red in the face and smiling, so that means it's a big thumbs up.
It's a good car.
Good job.
Sweet.
All right, we're gonna go get some tacos, so you guys are gonna have to wait till we get back to the garage, and we'll see you then. Just want to tell you, if there's any of you that have been interested in owning something like this, they're pretty hard to find. The used ones, obviously, if there's only 200 and something of them, they don't come on the market very often. If you want to order one, the max they build a month of these is 1. So you can get in touch with Superformance. I can help you with that if you send me a message. I'm more than happy to put you in touch with them. However, how it works is these are built as roller bodies in South Africa. You order it with the color, the spec, there's different options to it. And then what'll happen is once it arrives in the port, generally in Charleston, it can be taken pretty much to whoever you want to finish it out. But obviously Dennis Olthoff at Olthoff Racing, he's one of the legends. He's actually finished out, I think, almost 200 of them that he's finished once they arrive in the States. He's right here in North Carolina. Awesome guy. You'd love him if you met him. I'm plugging Dennis now because he's amazing. But what happens is the car comes completed except for engine, transmission, gauges aren't in it, stuff like that. Wheels aren't on it. Then he finishes the build out, and then once it's done, he sorts it, and then you're on the road. If you have any questions or you've ever been interested, I'm more than happy to give you some information, shoot me a message. That's all we got. I hope you really enjoyed this. Obviously, these are pretty rare, and it's funny because I'm so obsessed with the GT40 that's where most of my attention goes. But as soon as I've been putting this online, I didn't realize how many people are so obsessed with these cars. I don't really see much content with them. So stay tuned, because we're gonna have a lot more content coming with this car. We have so many things planned. We're gonna take this down to Superformance in Florida when we go.
I think it'd be a good road trip
I think we should do that. Stay tuned, because we're gonna take this to Superformance in Florida and go meet Lance, the owner, and all the guys, and go see some really cool cars. That's coming up this year, so you're gonna wanna stick around. If you haven't yet, hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff that all the YouTubers say, and we'll see you later. Woo!